From the start of the SS right till the end, we still use the same old 4 pieces of tyre. We never change at all.
And here is Sultan Mustafa and Arish Quib Khan doing their dance in the dirt, so to speak. Sultan has been driving for quite a while now and is looking for that elusive win. Let's hope he does not have to wait too long in this Proton Satya 1.6. Well, back in the service park after the first session of the day, mechanics are busy at work again. That's not enough time for major work, and they'll be taking on the SS again in less than 2 hours. With the benefit of feedback from the drivers, mechanics will try their best to make changes to the setups, the suspension, the engine tune-ups, etc. to get the best possible configuration to take on the rest of the SS. We are back in the race again with Gunasilan Raju. We pointed out earlier that Gunnar did well in the first 3 SSs, and with an engine that's not performing up to par, it is a surprise that it can hold up to top spot as we enter the second session. As it takes the right-hander just now, we saw, of course, the side, because we saw some smoke coming out of his tailpipe, and that's not to be good at all. Well, car number 2 lost in a lot of smoke there. That's Jimmy Lau, and word of Gunnar's trouble would have definitely got to his ears. Jimmy Lau will be smelling blood. He's in a position to dislodge Gunnar from the current top spot. Here we see him pushing through the Pert Waja. Well, here, almost recklessly, we see Tommy Lee jumping the curb, and he's really turning on the power. And that we saw him go through that left-hander and a right-hander, tearing down the straight now, like a deer at the sound of a gunshot, you might say. 16 seconds behind Jimmy Lau, and Tommy has a lot of work to do. Gunnar's spirit may be willing, but his putra is doing his bidding under protest. Well, can Tommy Lee move up another notch and take a shot at Jimmy Lau? Who knows? Well, that's number 6, Ian Kong. Breaks from studies, well, taking a break rather from studies. He cannot afford another mistake here like they did in the earlier race. Well, he did reasonably well in SS3 with an unofficial time of 4 minutes and 11 seconds. In SS1, he blew his chances of getting into a good position, and his time in that SS was a poor 5 minutes 10 seconds, putting him in 11th spot. In SS2, he did a creditable 4 minutes 36 seconds, yet that was not good enough to cover for the disastrous SS1. Another error would spell the end of his hope of even finishing among the top 5. What a shame that would be for the Ford Lynx. Well, we know that the Ford is capable of much more. And it's his pleasure to watch it going at full throttle on the straights. And look at the nifty moves it's capable of as well at the turns under the spell of a master racer. Well, clearly Ian has to notch more mileage at this level. With a pedigree and youth on his side, we hope to hear more of this young man in the future. Yes, there we see him going through. And as we did say earlier on, Ian Kong, Ivan Kong with Father Y.S. Kong, they have definitely got back into the racing itself. They've got their own workshop, and they prepare cars for racing as well. And as you know, we did say that Ian has just come back from studies, but he loves to get back in the saddle, so to speak. And here we are on board with him again, looking at that beautiful view as he sets up for the corner. I thought he made a little bit of a mistake there going into the corner, but still, anyway, he's back on track, and we hope that he will set a pretty good time if he wants to be competitive. And as we did say, whether or not he's going to be top 5, well, it's going to be a bit difficult for this man. He's got a lot of good competitors ahead of him. We talked about Tommy Lee, Gunasilan Raju, as well as Jimmy Lau. But is not only just, winning, but taking part. Well, that's car number 7, Lim Leong on at the wheel, throwing a lot of caution to the winds going into that turn. Well, speaking to Lim earlier, I was surprised to know that he was able to reach the 200 km/h mark on the clean straight in this 1300cc turbocharged 4-wheel drive Kalissa. But young men and ladies out there, a word of caution to those who have just got their provisional driving licenses. Please don't try this with your mom's Kalissa. Well, you need much more than foolish bravado to do what Lim Leong An is doing right now. Well, there goes Lim. It's a lovely machine if you look at that. Very tight around that corner. Driven very nicely by Lim Leong An as we see him going right through that particular straight. Number 8 going through that corner, Jerry S.K. Ng. He's been very consistent, very sure-footed all the way, and he's holding on to 5th position And we can say he is, of course, as I said, aggressive earlier. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. But as you know, in this type of race, you're racing against yourself, the machine, and the sector itself, with no other cars on the track. And if we know Jerry Ng, he loves to really mix it up with the others, if you know exactly what I mean. Here he's going through, really racing very, very hard, going for that right-hander and trying to see whether he can be among the top 5. As we know, Jerry Ng is still seeing a little smoke coming through at the rear end. Well, number 9 going through now, it's Azmarul Sari, another protege of Gary Chua, team manager of Team Perodor Castrol, and it's competing in Class 1. Well, at this point, the Kalisa, a product of Malaysia, second car manufacturer, has acquitted itself rather well. One day, we hope to see Kalisas taking on other makes in Class 1 for cars under 1000cc, such as the Toyota Yaris and the Nissan Micra, all active rally participants in Europe. Well, presently, Azmarul and co-driver Kamarul Anwar have a comfortable lead. Kesavan and co-driver Muhammad Fisa, the other contender in this class, are a distant second after a disastrous outing in SS1. And that's car number 10, Adrian Abu Bakr at the wheel, and obviously he's trying very, very hard to try to close the gap. Well, 3 others, Valumane Subramaniam, Jerry Ng and Eddie Kasmadi, have chalked up better times than him. And looking at the way he's driving, he's got to be a little more aggressive through the corners if he's going to try and make up a lot of lost time. Well, dropping a gear too early on approaching a turn, he loses precious fractions of a second, both going in and getting out. And that might be something that he's got to try and improve on. An improvement of this technique would mean better times around the twisty bends. Well, here's number 13, Velumane Subramaniam, as we track him going through in his 1800cc Proton Satria GTI, red, yellow, and silver grey. Velu knows Jerry Ng has been registering better times than him by several seconds in the last 4 SS. While going into SS5, Velu is trying harder to close the gap. Well, can he do it? Well, we'll have to just wait and see. For the man in the Honda, in nothing but consistency, Velu cannot afford a mistake or the lead would be out of his reach. Well, Velumani there, as we said, we know him very, very well in the earlier days of his racing on two-wheelers, but he's trying to get better and better in the saloon races. Well, there he goes. It's still always in the thick of the fray. Here comes car number 14 in that blood red Sunta Saminathan in the driver's seat, so to speak, going through the gravel patch. Well, and if you look at the way he goes through, he's really powering through, navigating, is definitely Gulvinder Singh, who's been doing a very good job so far. They have not been posting really great times compared to Tommy Lee and Jimmy Lau, and probably even Gunnar Sinan at this stage. But sensing that Gunnar, who has a problematic, you might say, engine to contend with, well, he will most likely try to stave off trouble till the end of SS7. And Sunta launches his assault and tries to position himself within striking distance of a podium finish. Well, only Tommy Lee and Jimmy Lau may prevent him from, doing just what he wants to. Well, can the Evo 6 do it? Well, will they be able to make it clean till the end of SS7 later? Well, these two are seasoned campaigners. They are probably charting out their strategy and hoping not to make too many silly mistakes. An attempt to close the gap on Tommy Lee and Jimmy Lau would probably be futile. They are simply too far ahead. Well, there he goes, Sunta. Well, we don't know whether or not he'll be able to really close the gap, but we'll wait and see whether he will be able to do it when we get the times. But backing out, well, that's car number 3 now. I believe that's Tommy B.J. Lee going through the secondary jungle on both sides there, the lovely stretch connecting the village of Pondo Tanjung to Taiping, and he's really putting his car to its paces. Punishing pace there with Tommy Lee and with Damien, as we are on board with now not with Tommy Lee but with Ian Kong and Adrian Ko. As we spoke a lot about Ian, and here we see him going through. It's a beautiful view, as we say, with the onboard camera really taking you looking ahead while we see the driver preparing himself for the corners and really seeing him very, very aggressive. Well, Ian had a poor outing actually in SS4, giving away 2 minutes actually. He made it up by posting a very good time at SS5 with a time of 4 minutes and 8 seconds. But it was not good enough to put him within striking distance of the front runners. Well, here he's trying very hard to make up for lost time. In SS1, he lost vital seconds after oversteering his links. That almost certainly closes the door on him for a podium finish. And what's left is for him to hopefully make it up in the second and third round. Well, better luck to you, Ian. As we see him going through the very twisty and windy road here. As I said, it's a lovely race in this case that you've got the roads to contend, the road sector as we are seeing right now, and also the other sector within the estates where you have a change of terrain, a bit of gravel, and a bit of maybe if there's rain, or the wet will probably give you a different feel of the car, so to speak. Well, we're still with Ian, and still trying to make up the lost time as we said earlier, and Ian obviously has got to probably get back onto doing a little more racing and getting into the field if he wants to be a lot more competitive. Looking at that Ford Lynx, it's a beautiful machine. But looking at Lim Leong On and that yellow Kalisa, car number 7, well, Ed's got a big heart, and he's taking on the fight to Goliath, so to speak, and Lim pushes to a precarious limit the optimum weight to power ratio, so to speak, and he seems to defy the law of physics there. Well, here's Sunta Saminathan, car number 14. At this point, we don't see Jimmy Lau in the third Waja. With Guna handicapped and Jimmy Lau probably out of the race, the prospects look brighter for this pair in the Evo 6. We saw a bit of smoke at the back going through the corners there, and probably might be a bit of a problem here for him. But anyway, this is car number 9, Asmarul Sari, going through as well, very neatly in that yellow Kalisa. Not doing particularly well right up there in front, I believe, but still, as we say, sometimes it's participating and not only the podium finish. Well, car number 10 there, that's Adrian Abubakar, hoping for a good timing in this particular sector. As you see him going a bit wide on that corner. If he wants to make up, he's got to probably drive a little more take a little better lines through the corners and hopefully get a little, creep up a little closer. Well, this is Velos Subramaniam in car number 13. Also going through this lovely stretch of road here for this particular sector. We've got some people out there, well, at these corners, also wanting to see the cars coming through. Velumani Subramaniam coming through very, very neatly around this particular corner. We've got cars and we've got spectators, and people have come out. Well, Sunta Saminathan in that familiar red car number 14, pushing it and really pushing it. Whether or not he is going to be creeping up and going to be right on top, well, I believe he would be in the front at this very moment, I think, holding on to a pretty good position on the top. Whether he's going to be right on top of the podium, well, we'll have to just wait and see. Well, that's how the first round of the second edition of the Silverstone Tarmac Rally Championship ended. We have Mr. Pang now garlanding the winners. Winner would be Tommy B.J. Lee and Damien Dillenberg. In car number 3, the four-wheel drive Proton Putra Turbo, total time was 30 minutes and 28 seconds. Yes, congratulations to them, and of course it's always champagne time. Second was Sunta Saminathan, all smiles with Gulvinder Singh, and that was car number 14, beautifully prepared Mitsubishi Evo 6. Total time was 31 minutes and 32 seconds. And it's always usual, with champagne to really end the whole day. Lim Leong On and Terry Tay, yes, in car number 7, finishing a very, very good third position. Kalisa four-wheel drive turbo, and it was just 2 seconds slower or behind Sunta Saminathan. His total time was 31 minutes and 34 seconds. Fourth was Velumani Subramaniam and Lee Moon King, time of 32 minutes and 10 seconds. Fifth was Jerry S.K. Ng and Lee Chie Hung. Sixth were Mohammad Eddie Kasmadi and Israf Isa in a Proton Satria. Well, that's it from us. Till we meet again, all the best from us at Silverstone. Well, this is Jesse Van Riesen signing off.
This program was specially brought to you by Silverstone High Performance Tires.